Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It is Thursday, right? It's Thursday, and I am your friendly neighborhood Prox. Welcome to the channel. We are continuing our ongoing series of me doing campaign prep for my upcoming D&D campaign. How you all doing today? How's life going? How are things feeling in the internet world across? It is a bit hot. It hot. So we're gonna chill off and talk about D&D and different things like that. So I welcome you all in. Hawkeye says it's a very slow day at work. Can't wait to get back to my new PC. I mean, yeah. I didn't sneeze in your ear, which is a good thing. But hold, please. New toy and new book syndrome is always a good thing. I embrace them. Sometimes this is a thing. Sometimes it's even better than that. I, however, am working hard on building this campaign and this campaign world, and I've been enjoying having conversations with each of my players behind the scenes or messaging them, and they'll be like, hey, what about this thing? And I'll be like, great, this is what this information is. Or hey, they'll ask, hey, what about this? And then I'll be like, great, here, have some of this information. And that led to some interesting things that have developed for me for plot wise, which is one of my favorite things. I think it really does work well when you think of prep for a campaign, prep for a game. One shots are a little bit different. They kind of go over here. But campaign prep and long-term game prep, anything that'll go more than 2 sessions, really, you want to work with your players and tie your players in. It's like, well, what do you know, a lot of people in the quote-unquote indie side of TTRPGs, I don't divide a line. I play all the TTR, well, it's not true, I don't play all of them. I play a lot of TTRPGs. I don't make a division between the genres or types that I play. I won't play ones that are horribly badly written or have bad faith design or intentions behind them. But, you know, I'll play D&D, I'll play Witcher, I'll play Mechton, I'll play Apocalypse World, I'll play Dungeon Crawlers Classic, I'll play a bunch of different things. But if you can work with your players to kind of flesh out pieces of your world and flesh out things, and you'll be like, okay, you know, give me 3 NPCs that are going to be in, you know, that your character knows. Oh, good. You they're what? Oh, that's nice. Let me make a little note. You as a GM do not have to create everything from scratch, shock and awe. Now, mind you, I create a lot because that's the way I think and the way I work. But at the same time, I like having players go, hey, I've got this idea. This is what I want to play with. I'm like, great. This is how that would work in this world. This is the rules that we'd be bounded by. Let's take that and run. It's like, oh, and then we got this, and then we got this. Okay, so where are they from? How old are they? Where did they go? What were they doing? And asking those kind of questions will help both the player and the GM further what they're doing. Hawkeye says, I'm considering getting Mass Effect. Yes. That is my answer. Yes. Hawkeye, I will... Sidebar. Yes, I am a BioWare fan of pretty much everything except their multiplayer... shooter, mostly because I don't have it. I've never played it, and I've not heard great things about it. But yes, There are some BioWare games that are better than others, but I love me some BioWare. And I am so hyped for the new BioWare Mass Effect game and the new Dragon Age game. I love me BioWare. And yes, you can see I'm wearing my Slaycation shirt here today because it's hot. And we were talking about doing stuff in the world. And, you know, I'm doing some campaign prep and GM prep. And, you know, I might be slaying some players in the future. I need to mute my phone. I feel like that's a thing that I should do so that I can not be mean to y'all. But we are here to continue work on campaign building and building character, particularly building NPCs. We have a couple more NPCs to build out for the what was I saying? For the major political players. That's who we're basically building right now. The major political players on the continent, so that we can see who's playing what, who's playing ball. So we have our beautiful map made again by the wonderful, fabulous player Tall Squall. I cannot wait for this game. I'm so excited. You'll also see above my head that we have an art donation funds for the art donation are going so that we can try and get character art for this game because it will be beautiful. But we are building characters. Now, we did Utkan. We've done so we did Novigur, Varum, all the halflings, Wolaba, Cortel, Tenerique, Saling, Utkan. So we should go to Tarkin next and do, go to Tarkin, and then we've got Tarkin, Durakan, Octan, and then Yoraba. And maybe we should look at a couple of the dwarf settlements. We have a lot. I have a lot to do. I make big worlds. I make big worlds, I cannot lie. Other GMs flounder, but I get by. We'll workshop it. It's not great, I understand, but we'll workshop it. But where are we? We are making add folder Tarkin. Tarkin is here. It is the largest of the orc territories. It is the closest to Saling. It has the most trade at the moment, definitely with Saling. As represented by various individuals. Hello, Nephilim. Welcome in. Thanks for the follow. We're working on some campaign building, some world prep for this high-level D&D campaign that I'll be running. We need our dear, dear friend, Taskin. War Chief Taskin Warhammer. Which, saying it that way, I apparently went for a complex alliteration and didn't even think about it. Oh, yes, I should also show you. Yes, it will be run in 5e, on D&D 5e. And we are going to start at level 14. The players are going to start level 14 and begin through some, with them having quote-unquote retired. One of the things, particularly for me, when you think about D&D, is most campaigns, that campaign that runs from 1 to 20 is very rare. Almost non-existent. If you get it, great. You are blessed. You have a great group. You have a great GM. You have a great scheduling opportunities. You're not suffering from the world outside. Lots of things that could But most people don't get to above level 10. If they get to level 10, it's golden. If they get, um, level, most go from 3 to 8. So we're going to start at level 14. But a level 14 character has massive power in a world, right? You know, a Preston, you think about the way the magic of D&D, or even just the abilities of a non-magical character, can change the shape of the world for people around the character, means that they have massive influence, massive power. These particular characters are quote-unquote retired. Um, they're level 14, and we're going to start with showcasing how they interact with the world, where they are in this moment of their retirement. Um, and I had a very extensive conversation last night with one of my players. To be fair, we were left unsupervised, so if we stayed up till 3:30 in the morning having this conversation, it's not my fault. Well, it kind of is, but not really. We're responsible adults and we can make choices. Um, I want to showcase how they are in the world, what they're doing, where they're affected, what effect they have on the world. So with that, there's a lot of interesting story, because the other thing is when you get to this high level, no, all of the characters, Nephilim, all of the characters are brand new. None of them are, or at least not to my knowledge, are from previous campaigns or editions. I think I think one player maybe is, took a concept from an earlier game and then is tweaking them, but they're fitting it into the world. So that's the other thing. This is my own homebrew world. None of the players have played in this world before. That means that, and one of the things I love about that is that you get to build and work together and have dialogue. Dialogue between you and your players, dialogue between the players and each other, influencing each other and affecting each other. And because this is going to be a streamed game, we're premiering July 30th, 8 p.m. Eastern right here. If you want to come hang out, it'd be great. And if you can't come and catch us live, I put up a YouTube with a VOD, with all the VODs of every show or game we've ever played on this channel, in playlists and organized. You can check it out. And if you like it, like, share, subscribe. I'm contractually obligated because I have a YouTube to say that in that order. Oh, and ring the bell for notifications. No one's gonna do that. It's fine. But because of that, it's a living world. I have a lot of, I myself have a history in anthropology, linguistics, and classical languages and literatures with a concentration in ancient Greek. I'm also studying at law school, after having taught high school for a number of years. So I have a very unique perspective when it comes to world building. I don't approach it like I don't approach it like someone who's just been a writer does. I approach it like an anthropologist or an archaeologist, and I go, okay, what are my layers of settlement? How many layers of habitation have there been? Why are these groups acting in this way? What has caused, they have different political reasonings for these actions. The core premise for this world is, with this archipelago over here, which was the old continent and home to the old empire, and also on the old empire on that continent were the 8 city-states of the elves. Spoiler alert, there aren't 8 city-states of elves anymore, there's only one. It down here in Uraba. There was a whole thing, good wizards versus evil wizards. Evil wizards want bad things. They do lots of bad things, and then basically say, well, if I can't have it, no one can, and take a bunch of chromatic dragons and the effect of a bunch of chromatic dragons and turn it into basically a giant super volcano continent destroying event I call the Sundering. Okay, so that's going to have an impact in the way that other people, the refugees of that world-ending event, who have moved to the western continent of Endios, that's going to have a little bit of an impact on how they view certain things, how people view arcane magic in general, how people view wizards in particular, how certain things like that are going to be tensions that will continue to kind of be there under the surface that players can play with, or I can play with. I'm going to play with that one a lot. Hey, Renegade, welcome in. We're doing some things. I'm having fun, which is the important part. You should have fun. If you're having fun, if you're not having fun, don't do it. Let me rephrase that. If you're not having fun with a tabletop RPG, whether that's Dungeons and Dragons or any other one, don't do it, because it's a game. We're here to have fun. Now, your fun might be expressing or embracing other emotions, like having a cathartic system, but you should generally be having general fun at the game. I'm doing good, Renegade. It has been indeed a long time. Scheduling, right? So, we are in Tarkin. I've built out all of the major NPC, all of the world leaders. Let's use that. Let's go with that. All of the national leaders for everywhere else except the Orc territories and the dwarven cities of Darasov, Postolav, and Navalov. Oh, and Uraba. But Uraba's going to be complicated. We're going to get there. Right now we're going to do War Chief Taskin War Hammer, which is going to tell you exactly what kind of weapon he uses. So we're gonna go to our blind character build, and click the wrong button because I'm smart that way, and build out we've been working, it's been a lot of fun. I've been getting Nephilim Mass, I assume because the high level in the new setting, you help the characters and the players in the character creation process for background and choices, so their stories will fit the setting. Yes, been doing a lot of that, and for me it's fun because it also gives me, I have all of the major political events that occurred up until the beginning of the game point in the back of my head. I have that. I know the last time Cortel went to war with Varum, or Walaba had tensions with the Octan orcs, or for example, Saling, which is a theocracy run by the Great Lady, as she's called, who is a High Cleric of Mother Ashra 50 years ago, before the start of the campaign times. 50 years before that, she led a revolution called the Glorious Revolution in her territory area to turn it into a theocracy country and honor all of the gods. I know all of this stuff. I have it in my head. But my players don't know it all yet. And so when my players ask questions or come to me with hey, what about this thing? Then I can sit there and say, sure, this is what I've got. What do you think? And then I can talk back and forth. And it gives me the ability to be clearer in my own understanding of what's going on in my world. But it also gives my players opportunity to kind of have their own effect on the world creation and character creation process, which is a thing that I think should be done. Your players are part of the world. Also, there's a lot that you got going on at the moment. I'm just gonna say there's a lot that DMs have juggling. If your players want to create a couple NPCs in the background that are tied to their backstory, let them. It just gives you more ammunition for when you need to use your field sniper, which, you know, is always a good thing to have. But we are building Tarkin Warhammer, and he is a fighter. Hey, PB. By the way, PB is one of the players in this game. I think Lynn's in chat too. I don't know. Lynn was in chat. Lynn, if Lynn's still in chat, Lynn's also one of the players in this game. So, Tarkin Warhammer. Orc, and as I've been saying in every one of these, because of the way I build my world, I'm going back to Tolkien understanding of certain things, elves and orcs in particular, with the concept that elves are truly immortal. Oh, hi, Lynn. Let's wave at Lynn. That elves are truly immortal, which means that short of violent death, they cannot die of old age or illness. So they're old and they view the world through a very different lens. Time is different. History is different. They're not isolationist or elitist the way that Tolkien elves are, but in some cases, but they are very much separated themselves from just the way their viewpoint is. And then orcs remember how I said on the old continent of Arabia there was the old empire and the 8 city-states of the dwarves? Well, or city-states of the elves. Wow, I can't talk. It's my own world and I can't talk. 8 city-states of the elves plus a number of city-states of the dwarves. The dwarves were kind of integrated into the empire, but they mostly kept to themselves. The elves were walking this fine line between considering, there was an alliance and then there was a consideration if there should be a truly joined government, but they had never really gotten that far before, effectively the end of the world. So there were 8 city-states of the elves on the continent of Arabia. When this war between evil wizards and good wizards happened, the evil wizards take one of those city-states of elves and forcibly capture them and twist them and use evil magics to turn them into something else. And those something else will become orcs. It sacrifices their immortality, but it gives them higher constitution and a racial feat for rage. And now, after 2,000 years, magic has changed things, and a lot of things have happened because of that. So there's a greater connection between elves and orcs in here, and I don't play with I use alignment because alignment, as it's defined, the word alignment means that you're acting in line with certain stated behaviors and goals that the public knows you believe in, right? Like, if you're a cleric or a paladin of a god of justice, and you publicly state that, and then go around being going murder crazy, a bunch of people gonna be like, nah man, he ain't representing that god real well, and the god might go, no, you're not representing me at all. Let me take that back. You can't have that. No more toys for you. But I don't play with every orc is evil and they're inherently evil. No, that's just racist bullshit. No ethnic cultural group is ever inherently evil. They don't, no. So, Tarkin, who is the war chief of the Tarkin orcs, and I've using, for me, one of the things I did with the orcs is the orc tribes are all quasi-nomadic, which means fully nomadic tribes are, as defined in anthropology, one thing, but what we call quasi-nomadic is you kind of have circulating areas where you go back to, which is, so you have the same general territory, but your herds are going to rotate through various places, which is what most quasi-nomadic, they're not they're not agrarian cultures. They are herders. Um, and so because of that, you're following your herds, and your herds are following set patterns based on weather and times of the year. So they're quasi nomadic. They travel through their areas, which I just think is can be very fun kind of thing to play with. So Tarkin is a level 18 fighter. We're going to give him his background. And we're going to go soldier, I think. Yeah, I think we're going to go soldier for Tarkin. It makes the most sense. Taskin of the Tarkin Elves. Wow, Why did I do that to myself? I pulled a Tolkien. I pulled a Tolkien with the Tarkin Elves. Ha. That's a fun thing. But now we need to go roll stats, and I roll in roll 20 because apparently D&D Beyond doesn't like me. It likes one of my players really well, but really doesn't like me, which is hilarious. We were saying that we thought that it might be mathematically, limiting so that it didn't let you have too high stats. And then I saw the stats that my player rolled in D&D Beyond, and I'm like, yeah. Oh, Orange, what I was saying is I named a character Taskin, and he is head of the Tarkin Elves. Or Tarkin orcs, not elves. Although they technically were elves at a certain point in history, but they've descended from elves. But yeah, that will be a wonderful thing for me to just be like off the top of my head. I know they are my own characters, and I know what I'm talking about, but I'm still gonna be that person. And it's okay. Hey, guess what? GMs, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be willing to work at it. Actually, those are not bad stats except for that 5, which I'm just gonna re-roll because I can. Yeah. Because he's an NPC. Alright, so we got 18, 15, 15, 14, 12, 11. So he's got 18 strength, 15 constitution, 15 charisma because he is a leader. 14, 12, 11. Actually, no, we're going to go 14 charisma, 15 dex. Nah, we're gonna go 14 wisdom, 12 charisma, 11 intelligence. Because he can be average intelligence, but still be cunning. And I think that's where he's gonna go. Alright, so we're gonna go 1, 1, 1, and then boost. Oh no, we're not doing... We're doing... Okay, so let's get that back. Alright, so we're gonna boost Dex, Con, and Intelligence. You rounded up to an 8? I mean, yeah, if you're going with the standard array, an 8 is considered acceptable, but with an NPC that, with a high level NPC, I don't feel bad about going with all double digit, no negatives. Yeah, if I'm gonna do, I mean, like, that's not a bad way to do it. I'm just not, for an NPC like this, it doesn't affect a lot if I do it like this. And then intelligence is the other one. All right, so now we're starting with even numbers for everybody. 18, 16, 16, 12, 14, 12. Cool. But we know he's a fighter. We know he's got athletics and intimidation from being a soldier. I'm gonna go with survival and what? What, PB? What you saying? What is that about? We know he's cunning. So we're gonna go survival, and I think we're gonna go insight. I like survival and insight for Tarkin. He's a fighting style, and I think he is a I think we're gonna go 2-weapon fighting. I think we're gonna go 2-weapon fighting. Yeah, we'll go 2-weapon fighting. And martial archetype. Now, here's a fun thing. We're gonna go Eldritch Knight. Because I thought about this last night when I was thinking about building Tarkin. And I think we go Eldritch Knight. Because what is your spellcasting? Oh, intelligence. So his spellcasting, he's not going to be great at spellcasting because it's, he's not going to be. But that doesn't really matter because he's an Eldritch Knight, so he's casting on himself most of the time. All right. Ability 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ability score improvements, which means he can also take feats. So why don't we look at first those abilities? I think we need to bump. I think we're going to take 3 of those 6 ability score improvement options, and we're going to bump strength, con, and intelligence up a full level. So the first one we're going to do is strength. Then we're going to take con. And then we're going to boost intelligence, so he's not quite that far. He's got a respectable intelligence. Okay, so that gives us a 20, 16, 18, 14, 14, 12. Okay. Okay. Now, we've got 3 more. I say we bump 1 more time with the intelligence to give him a little bit of fun. And then the last 2 will give him a feat. But what feat do we want to give him, right? So what does he get? He gets weapon bond. He's bonded to you in 1 weapon. I'm actually going to say, because he's a 2-weapon fighter, I'm going to change that he has 2 bonded weapons. Because, it makes sense. He's bonded with his 2 weapons. He is extra attack, war magic, beginning at 7th level. When you cast a cantrip, you can make 1 weapon attack as a bonus action. So you cast a cantrip and make a bonus attack. Oh, look, it makes certain spell cantrips actually effective. Finally. Indomitable, Eldritch Strike, 10th level. When you learn how to make a weapon attack, make your weapon strikes undercut a creature's resistances to your spells. When you hit a creature with a weapon attack, that creature has disadvantage on the next saving throw it makes against a spell you cast before the end of your next turn. That is actually also useful. That's really useful. Arcane Charge. At 15th level, you gain the ability to teleport up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space you can see when you use your action surge. You can teleport before or after the additional action. There you go. 18th level, when you use your action to cast a spell, you can make one weapon attack as a bonus action. There you go. Alright, so, feats. I think we give our... Okay. What are we thinking? What are we thinking? Nah, we're not giving him Keen Mind. Oh no. He's an orc. He's going Mage Slayer. Mage Slayer for an Eldritch Knight. There we go. That makes sense. And then the last feat we're going to give him... Because again, the orcs were all taken and twisted and changed by evil wizards. So, you know, learning how to fight and kill wizards would be great. I'm sure it's really beneficial to them, right? I think it is. Alright, so... Then the next one is... Do we go... Sentinel? Or... PB says, let me say, I've been going through the VODs at 1.5 speed, and your ominous pauses are a lot more ominous live. Well, thank you, PB. Thank you. I mean, you've played with me before, PB. PB, by the way, is in the Mechton Starblade Battalion game that we, and so is Lynn, that we just finished. And is, if you want to catch those are on the YouTube. Catch the VODs. And I haven't changed my personality at all just because I'm building all of these things out live. And you can't see it. But yeah, no, apparently I'm ominous. I have goals. So, for those of you who are on Twitter, Danny, on Twitter, what's Danny's handle? Brutal Dan. Brutal Dan on Twitter. Was posting earlier a bunch of stuff about D&D, share the last time you ran into a dragon, all of these things, and I had to say, you know, I couldn't remember the last time in D&D I used a dragon at all. I just couldn't remember. I can't. I have more interesting things. There are more interesting quote-unquote monsters that I'm could play with. Hawkeye says, just giving her more incentive, PB. PB says, Hawkeye, who says I don't want more? That is fair. It'll be fun. Alright, so feat. I think we either go observant or sentinel. I think we go sentinel. Not savage attacker, sentinel. Click the right button, Deirdre. There you go. Yeah. So sentinel. There we go. And then they get, how many spells do they get? They get 11 spells and 3 cantrips. They get up to 3rd level spells. I'm just saying, this could be a lot of fun. Sword burst, what's that? Oh look, a spell that can make True Strike actually worth something. with an Eldritch Knight if you play it right. But now we need to roll our stats, or roll our hit dice, and that's a D10 for fighters. So that would be 17d10 plus 10. $97. What is that gonna give me for an... Yeah, that's way below the max. Let's try that again. It's 105. That's a little better, but not by much. Yeah. We're just gonna go ahead and give him 120. We're just gonna give him a total of 250. I like giving him 250, so override 250. There we go. It's an NPC. I can do that. Abilities, we have all of that. So now we're sitting there going 20, 16, 18, 16, 14, 12. I like this. I like this for our wonderful war chief. Hawkeye, I saw your message. We'll get back to it after stream because there's a lot in that I would answer. He plays chess. He plays chess. Alright, now the equipment. Now I get to get rid of all of this equipment that was for the other characters. And build out the whole thing again. Because it makes life easy. Alright, so starting equipment. Chainmail. 2 martial weapons. He has a warhammer. And warhammer and scimitar. I like that combination. Welcome in, Any Geek. Yeah, we need a button for clear all the for the equipment. That I think we should have. I agree with you on that one, Any Geek. Welcome in, by the way. 2 hand axes. Don't care. Don't care. Fine. Whatever. Mostly because it doesn't really matter because he's gonna get... Maybe I don't even need to think about that anymore. But we're gonna give him well, we need to start with the weapon, and we're going to start with a warhammer. Do we give him the vicious warhammer? No, because what vicious warhammers only work if you crit. I hope your excursion was a successful one, Annie. +2 or +3. Did we give him alert? No, we gave him Sentinel and Mage Slayer. Gonzo, this is going to be for an NPC. We're building out the major political players in my homebrew world right now. We've done all of these. Well, these are the player characters, but all of these countries, and now we're here building out Tarkin, Warhammer, War Chief Tarkin Warhammer, and I think we are going to give him. We'll give him the plus. We'll give him the Warhammer of Warning, and then the other side is the Scimitar. Oh, Gonzo. If they want to try, the thing is that they're level. We're gonna start at level 14. So yes, you're right. The fun of making plot relevant NPCs and hoping the players don't kill them outright. Sometimes that's true, but these are like the major political players. So ideally, my players wouldn't try and kill them just in the first meeting. It's not like this random guard. I mean, like these. This is the leader of a territory. I mean, I was thinking either. I mean, hello, Valaxion, welcome in. I like the 9 lives stealer. PB says seduce, maybe. Kill, nah, at least not right away. I like the... Gonzo's, I'm running Cyberpunk Red, and honestly, I never know what my players will do when they run across a fixer or an exec. I mean, that is fair. But if you keep killing, like, look, if you're a player in a Cyberpunk Red game and you keep killing fixers, that's gonna get around, and then you're never gonna be able to get the shit that you want and or need. Just saying. You can just give them important little consequences. If they're getting too big a reputation, which, by the way, is a stat and a effect in our Talsorian games. We play a lot of them on this channel. You can use that. Okay, so I like either the 9 lives stealer, which is on a crit, you can force a character with less than 100 hit points to succeed on a DC 15 Constitution saving throw or be insta-killed. I don't like the fact that it doesn't regain properties. If I had this, I would change it so that they would regain... Valaxion. When you wish for freedom and the genie gives you a free dom. I respect that one. That one gets a snaps. Like if I had this, I would let it recharge. What is the life-stealing scimitar? When you attack with this magic weapon and roll a crit, then the attack takes an extra 10d necrotic damage. You also get 10 hit points. I think we'll go with the 9 lives stealer, but we're going to tweak it so that it doesn't lose its properties. I'm just going to say that it has 1d8 plus 1 charges, and it requires... there are certain things it will require. I have an idea about what would happen to get it recharged, which... sure would be important. And armor. I should give him... Oof, Gonzo, yeah. Consequences here. One tech who had family ties to the Yakuza, steal Yakuza money to pay off the triad for safety, and ended up with his grandpa using seppuku to pay off the debt. I mean, yeah. Using consequences in a RTAL game is a thing. I also use them in games in D&D. Yes, you can do something. That doesn't mean that you should. You're not consequence free, people. Um, so I think since we gave him fun weapons, we're gonna give him pretty basic armor. And by that I mean we're just gonna give him something. Ooh, no, I like this idea. Let's give him psychic resistance chainmail. He also had the option to start his own Yakuza family in a free ranking exec, but he didn't want to go criminal organization. Yeah, I mean, that's a choice you can make. You can make choices. I encourage my players to make choices, right, PB? I encourage you to make choices. They're great, right? They're really helpful. Yeah, so we're going to give him armor of psychic resistance. By you mean minor inconveniences? That you keep saying that. I don't think the word means what you think it means. So yeah, all right. So inventory. Boop, boop, boop. Yep, yep, yep. Can you seduce the spider dragon? Yes. Should you seduce the spider dragon? Well, they eat the heads of their mate after courtship, so probably not. Good point, Valaxion. It is a thing. Like, there are times I sit here and go, hey guys, yeah, okay. There will always be choices that you as a player can make, and I will never ever stop you from making choices. But, 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 no, I overrided the hit points. Hit point max override to 50. There we go. That wasn't, you know, that's where we go. Okay. Yeah, I need, it would still not help me. PB is shaking her head like, yeah, okay, kinda. All right. So, we're gonna tweak some of this when we enter it in the character sheet because it is an NPC and it doesn't harm anything. So he is War Chief Taskin Warhammer. Look, we had to give him a Warhammer. You spent the entire time thinking about how they were gonna get what was gonna get hit by it, about to be hit from. Well, a slow, overwhelming attack of doom. You fear that you live in PB says, I live in perpetual fear that one of her parents is going to come back as a big bad. I mean, I did that. Would I do that for everybody's parents? I mean, I think that would be overdone, wouldn't you? Spellcasting. Okay, yeah, but it doesn't actually tell you. Yeah, it doesn't say... This is going to be complicated. No one would ever expect everyone's parents to be bad. This is true. No one would ever expect everyone's parents to be bad. DC mod 17. 17 proficiency bonus 6. Orc armor class. His armor class is a 16. We're gonna... Didn't I? No. We're gonna tweak that and give him a much higher armor class, because that doesn't make sense. It's... Thank you, PB! I appreciate that. It's honestly all great fun, don't you think? Anyways, make sure you hit that bell to get notified next time Prax makes her players paranoid. Exactly. Follow for those notifications. Alright, I'm tweaking his AC just because I think it should be tweaked. It's not full plate, but, you know, he has to have some. His hit points, he's got 250 hit points. He has a walking speed of 30 feet. I didn't give him a fly speed. That's, you know, I think I should get credit for that one. Writing prompt from Valaxion. The God of Death is a title earned by the mortal with the highest kill count in their lifetime, and is considered the easiest way to become a god. True. That's an interesting thought. Not in this world, but I've done that before. I've played with that kind of stuff before. It can be really fun, if the players are willing to buy into it. But this particular... I'm embracing some old school tropes here and having a lot of fun with them, as I do. 14, 12. Do you want a genocide? Because that's how you get a genocide. I mean, you're not inherently wrong, Gonzo. Alright, he's got an 11, a 3, a 3, 2, and a 1. Look, he has some charisma. He is not very deceptive, however. I mean, this is not a character that you would ask to lie to you. Or at least attempt to lie. That would be probably bad. Intimidation. I'm going to use the alternate intimidation rules for fighters and allow him to use his strength as his intimidation skill, which is going to take his proficiency, which is going to take his bonus for intimidation from a +7 to a +11, which I think makes more sense. I like that alternate rule, particularly for fighters, because you're like, if you're trying, not for persuasion or any other charisma-based skill, but if you're trying to be intimidating and you have this large dude who's like, I could literally break you into small pieces, staring at you, that can be very intimidating. Maybe. Religion, sleight of hand, dex, well, stealth is not a problem, and survival. When the God of Death is also responsible for the most lives created because you need life to sacrifice life. So this God of Death is a bard, is what you're saying. from Valaxion's, resistances to psychic damage. He has dark vision up to 60 feet. He's got a passive perception of a 12, a passive investigation of a 13, and a passive insight of a 18. He's got Orc, Common, Elvish, because he does speak more than two languages. Yes, very good, very good. And now his actions. He gets an attacks. He gets multiple attacks. Mwahahaha. We're going to start with the 9 lives stealing. Lives stealing Scimitar. And it has... I'm going to give it... everything but that going to keep everything the same except for that recharge point. Just not going to tell everybody about that. Hide that. It is melee. It has a 5-foot reach to hit. It is a 13. One target. On a hit, it does 1d6. 1d6 plus 7 damage. Slashing. And it also can just straight up steal your life. That's a thing. So let's see if it rolls. How I always have to double check to see if I enter it correctly and roll 20 to see how it rolls. Okay, so that's good. Yep, there we go. Rolled a 6. Not a great roll, but not horrible. Warhammer of Warning. And it is an attack. Why is it... Why is the to hit different? Oh, because it's the... Duh. This is also a +2 weapon. 5 feet. And is it a +11? One target. On a hit, it does 1d8 because he's dual wielding, so it will never be a plus or d10. So 1d8 plus 5 bludgeoning. And it is a Warhammer of Warning, so it gives him, you cannot be surprised, warns him of danger, and gives him advantage on initiative. So that will be good. That's nice. Um, mm, 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 mm. So he gets all of that. Actions. Bonus actions. He gets Adrenaline Rush. You can dash as a bonus action. You can use this trait a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus. Dash 6 times per long rest. You also get 6 temporary hit points. So, you know, each time you dash, you get a bunch of hit points. So, like, you could just get 36 hit points based on that. Second wind. Yeah, Valaxian says, I like the idea of adding stats to each other. I see through your stealth. Do you really? The guard on his first day on the job, staring down a bugbear in the shadows on a night after a werewolf attack. Yeah, no. I'm good. I might see through it, but I'm not gonna see through it. Cool. Reactions. For Mage Slayer. When a creature within 5 feet of you casts a spell, they may use a reaction to make a melee weapon attack against that creature. Bye-bye. And then Sentinel attack. Gets to do... You move away, I can make a weapon reaction. That's a good one. Action Surge. Technically, Action Surge is an Action Surge. Go over here. Take additional action twice for short rest. Yep. Boom. Arcane Charge. You can teleport up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space you can see with when you use your Action Surge, either before or after the additional action. So you can Action Surge and then teleport and use your action for your Action Surge to attack a new person. Yep. You can attack up to 3 times. Technically 4 because he's a 2-weapon fighter, which means he gets all the same bonuses for his bonus action attacks if he chooses to do so. War magic, when you use your action to cast a spell, you can make 1 weapon attack as a bonus action. You can make a weapon attack as a bonus action when you cast a spell. That is pretty dope. I'm liking this build. I'm liking this NPC. I'm seeing my, because here's the other thing. Tarkin, when the Great Lady led her glorious religious revolution in Saling, she didn't really have an army. I mean, she had a bunch of religious zealots and ideologues, but not a whole lot of fighters. So she made a deal with Tarkin, and Tarkin is like, sure, we'll support you. Because it also gives him a very stable trading relationship. Oh, you can... Oh, yes, and Indomitable. Indomitable is great. Reroll that saving throw. Relentless endurance. You can also, when you, yeah, so I don't, I can use whether you cast a cantrip or a regular spell, you can make a weapon attack at that point, which is really going to be good for a Eldritch Knight. You have a weapon bond. And I'm saying that he's got a weapon bond with both of his weapons because, you know, he's a 2-weapon fighter, and it would make more sense to have a weapon bond with a 2-weapon fighter. Cool. Features and traits. Engine Surge. Weapon bond. Extra attack. War magic. Indomitable. Eldritch Strike. Here we go. When you hit a creature with a weapon attack, it has disadvantage on its next saving throw against a spell you cast. Boom. Like a boss. An Arcane Charge. Didn't I put Arcane Charge in here already? Yes, I did. Oh yes, powerful build. You count as one size larger. Carrying capacity and weight you can push, drag, or lift. That doesn't matter. Mage Slayer. And Sentinel. Cool. Inventory. Armor. Psychic resistance. Alright. I think we've built our... Yep. We have built out our Taskin. Let's check those rolls. Let's check the roll on the Warhammer. Ooh, that's a 19. That was almost a crit. For 7 bludgeoning damage. Alright, not bad. He can do a lot of damage though in a round. And a whole bunch of spells. But we're not putting the spells in because that takes a lot of time. Because of the way it works. I'm answering a couple people because we're trying to get together and schedule our finale for the Corporate Raiders, which is the, you know, other side of the Starblade universe. And it's been... Look, the real bane of any adventuring party is scheduling. Alright, so we did Utkan, Tarkin. Now we needed to do Durakan. Durakan is fun because there is a... there's a bard festival in Durakan that I created. Why am I looking over there? It's not in there. It's over here. I made my life easier so I wouldn't have to turn around and ignore you people. Because it's all about paying attention to you. Well, it's also about doing things and getting things done. But right now, we're going to Durakan. Durakan. Durakan orcs are currently led by War Chief Vural the Protector, who gained power recently through trial by combat. Vural has begun changing the way Durakan interacts with other orc tribes and outside nations. Vural is recently married to a half-elven woman, Amar Pajor, making him the first orc ruler to marry outside his species. There is hope that Durakan will begin diplomatic relations with at least the elven city of Uraba. They have trade relations, but not really... So we officially have a date for the Corporate Raiders finale. That will be Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on the channel. And if you have missed out on the previous episodes of the Corporate Raiders fun, I would say check out the YouTube, because they're all there in a playlist to check it out. And poor Guard's life in a fantasy world. Yeah, but sometimes I like giving guards, like, be like, nah, man, I'm not taking that. I've been on my job. I know my job. I'm not being a dumbass. But we are building out Viral the Protector. And there we go. He is not a fighter, however. Even though he won by trial by combat, he is not a fighter. We're gonna get rid of these stats too, because... Good afternoon, Pope. How are you doing? Pope is another one of these players. Pope, and I was saying earlier that I may have done a lot of plotting last night, partially because I was chatting with Pope, which is always a great thing. And chatting with Pope gave me lots of ideas, and we were left unsupervised. So if those ideas were, you know, you're not wrong, Andy Geek, because one of the things I put into Durakan is Durakan orcs are known for being as skilled in fighting with words as they are with weapons. Durakan bards are thought to be the greatest of all bards. There is a temple to Zephan the Entertainer, where the Guild of Bards hosts a festival each autumn. It is the largest festival outside of midwinter or midsummer. Yes, I am making a giant orc bard. He is going to be we'll come back to his class in a minute. We need to roll stats. And again, I roll in Roll20 because some people just keep stealing all of my good stats in D&D Beyond. I wonder who that could be. So we're rolling stats for our joyous, wonderful, fun Durakan orc leader, Viral the Protector. He's here to no, we're re-rolling those. A 5 and a 7? Heck. Nah. Okay, we'll take those. I'll just boop that 8 to a 10. Look, I'm just gonna give him... Why do I even do this? I'm just gonna give him good stats. 3 15s, a 16, a 13, and a 10. He is a bard. Cool. His abilities is 16, 15, 15, 15, 13, 10. He is not a strong bard, but he is a very dexterous bard. We're going to boop dexterity. We're going to boop constitution. And we're going to boop intelligence, just because. I like the idea of a very intelligent bard. He is a level 16. Yes, PB, I am making you an orc bard. It's fine. You can, you want to seduce this character too, you're welcome to try. And he has a different background. He's not a soldier. I mean, I guess beyond the sense that any one of these are soldiers, because they all are. A challenge has been set. Look, PB said she wanted to try and seduce Lord Iago of Cortel. I'm just saying. That's what PB asked earlier. There was a time. So, we're gonna give him, what's a thilar? Is that another made-up instrument? No. A thilar is a simple wind instrument cut from a reed. Okay. But I'm confused. Which one? Oh, it's just a reed. What is it talking? Oh, no. Nope. So we're gonna give him like a lute, a dulcimer because I like that combination, and then a actual flute. I like giving. Pope is like, Iago is not someone I'd consider seducing. Yes, if you wish to check the NPC doc, you can do so if you're watching live, and sorry for those watching VOD. The link is in chat, you can check. I'm going to go with perception, insight, and I don't think he's into deception. I think instead we're going to go with sleight of hand. PB says, nope, between fighting and seducing, I'll take one for the team for Lord Iago. I mean, he's not married. Yes, he's the one that's not married and doesn't have any children yet. He's also Lord of Cortel, and they have some opinions about arcane magic. Most of which is, don't, and let me hunt you down. Bard College. So do we go College of Swords or College of Valor? What do we think? I think we go College of Swords. Because the other Bard Lord that we made is Shah Nusser, and Shah Nusser of Tenerique is a College of Whispers Bard. But I think Valor or Swords would be my way of going. Go bonus proficiencies, combat inspiration. See, here's my one problem with bards, is they don't actually get, like, college benefits a lot. I almost think swords or valor. Get a fighting style, blade flourish. I think we go, I think... Spirits? I don't know that one. I haven't paid attention to that one. Guiding Whispers. You learn Guidance. Oh, it has a range of 60 feet? Oh, yeah, well, why don't we go... We're gonna go Spirits, because I now have a really good idea of who this person is. Alright, Bard College of Spirits. Expertise in perception and performance. Now, ability score improvement. We get 1 2, 3, 4 ability score improvements. So where are we at with our abilities? We should boost charisma. We're going to boost charisma twice. Yeah, we'll boost charisma twice. And then we'll see what we get next. Oh, no, not feat. Ability score improvement. Charisma. There we go. We'll go to this one first, because that will make my life easier. And it's all about making my life easier, isn't it? Spirits provide supernatural insights. You can conduct a 1-hour ritual channeling spirits, which, using your spirit focus, you can conduct. Once you perform the ritual, you can't do so again until the long rest, and you know the chosen spell until that long rest. Oh, it's a spell? Okay, so this is a really, really fancy way of saying of magical secrets. At the end of the ritual, you temporarily learn one spell of your choice from any class. The spell... Okay, but why are the other people there? Like, it really seems like there's no point in having other people as part of this spell. Like, listen to this. Spirits provide you with supernatural insights. You can conduct an hour-long ritual channeling spirits, which can be done during a short or long rest, using your spiritual focus. You can conduct the ritual with a number of willing creatures equal to your proficiency bonus, including yourself. At the end of your ritual, you temporarily learn one spell of your choice from any class. Yeah, okay, but it doesn't actually say that. All it just says is that they're there. They're just hanging out. At least in Witcher. So this is one thing where I think that the Witcher TTRPG does better than Dungeons and Dragons. When you cast a ritual spell in Witcher, exactly. The spell you choose must be of a level equal to the number of creatures that conducted the ritual with you, or less. I mean, I guess. Okay. The spell must be a level you can cast, and it must be at the School of Divination or Necromancy. I still like it better that you're right, it is there. I acknowledge the fact that I misread it and skipped that portion. Misread. I still like Witcher's better, where all it does is the number of people who are participating in the spell lower the DC for you to cast the spell. Which I think makes so much more sense than this. Because it's just going to limit, like, the number of people you can have. I'm not going to choose any spells because... Well, actually, I'll just choose something interesting. There's a lot more in here than necromancy or divination. They just gave you all of them. Chill touch. There we go. But that doesn't really matter. Expertise. Expertise in insight and sleight of hand. Magical secrets. I don't have to worry about that because that's more spells. So now we've got 2 ability score improvements left. Our current abilities are 10, 16, 14, 16, 15, 20. I like that spread. I think I'm going to keep this... Because our option is... And I think we just take 2 feats instead. We take 2 feats instead. So we're going to take a feat. And we're going to take... Sorry. I think I want to give this particular NPC lucky and make them a warcaster. A lucky warcaster, College of Spirits bard. 16d8 and manage. Yeah. That's better. So we bumped that to 90. That gives us 122. I think that's a but he's still an NPC and you're gonna hit him a lot. If you try and fight him. Yeah. Okay, so 142. He has 142 hit points. Abilities we've set. Description. Gets a magical instrument. We'll give him a hand drum. Pope is like, I don't want to fight him. Well, that's true, but that's because I know your backstory and I know your reactions to things. I know a lot of things about why Pope's character doesn't want to fight him. Which, by the way, Saturday cannot come soon enough. I am looking forward to that so much. Rapier. Entertainer. Loot. Liar. A love letter from his wife. By the way, he does actually really love his wife. How about we add some items? So he gets armor. I want to do something fun for his armor too, because like, yeah, he's getting glamour studded leather. Lynn's like, I just want to be friends. That's fair. He's getting a glamored studded leather armor because yes. We need to give him a weapon. We're gonna give him a rapier. What if we give him a dancing rapier? Yeah, we're gonna give him a dancing rapier. Just because I like the image of an orc bard with a dancing rapier. And glamored armor. And then we should give him something else, and I think we're gonna give him... No. What about rings, right? We have rings that are interesting. Sometimes they're interesting. What if we give him a ring of spell turning? Is that too much? Oh no, we're gonna give him a ring of spell turning. It's his one highest level item, and I want it. No, spell turning, not spell storing. While wearing this ring, you have advantage on saving throws against any spell that targets only you, not an area of effect. In addition, if you roll a 20 for the save and the spell is 7th level or lower, the spell has no effect on you and instead targets the caster, using the slot level spell save DC and attack bonus and spellcasters and the spellcasting ability of the caster. literally will turn that spell right back around. I might make it just saves on ability, you know, might tweak that a little bit for me, because I can. So, wait, didn't I save the hit point? Didn't I just do a whole thing with it? Apparently I can't do math. Thank you, Pope! Thank you for that wonderful tip. That will be going directly to our art fund to get some art for these characters that we're building for each of my players. Thank you, Pope. You didn't have to do that. I do appreciate it, though. Yeah, okay, so let's try that again. That's much better. So we're going... There's some very interesting things that could happen in his near future. And now... Inventory, please. Boom, boom. Boom. Boom, boom. Cool. Makes his armor class 16. Now he's finally got an armor class. Bards, man. They don't get fun armor classes. You want to know... Here, you want to know, like, my most favorite character who I will never delete off of D&D Beyond. I've printed them multiple times, but I still never delete them off of D&D Beyond. Because she is one of my favorites, is here. Sorry, of Fortune. Oh, thank you, Hawkeye! I appreciate that donation. Again, that's all going to support the art fund to try and get character art for this game that we're doing. So, Visaria is a level 14 straight lore bard, but she's also a human variant because she's a Vistani. But, yeah, her armor class is a 14. I went into a fight within striking distance, and by that I mean within 60 feet, of Soth with an armor class of 14. I survived. Also worked probably because Soth wasn't paying attention to me. He was busy dealing with a Knight of Solamnia. So, let us... Character sheet, wrong one. Viral, here we go, Viral. Viral the Protector. Create an NPC. We're getting all of the fun things. All of the fun things. Stats. Well, first we're going to give him... His name is Viral the Protector. Viral Protect. Yes. He is an orc. He's got an armor class of 16, because he has a decent armor class. He has a glamour studded leather. And it doesn't give him any disadvantages because you can't... He's got 160 hit points. He's got this flight of 30 feet. Cool. Strength 10... Dex 16, Con 14, Intelligence 16, Wisdom 15, and Charisma is a 20. He is a charming motherfucker. Although he doesn't fuck his mother. No, there's never a way he was going to do that. Strength 0, Dex is 8, Constitution is a 2. 3, 2, 10. He's got a proficiency bonus of 5. He's got common, elvish, and orc. He's got dark vision up to 60 feet. Mind you, I haven't added all of the thing, like the rage bonus, which would be very interesting because all of my orcs have a racial feat for rage because they got twisted and tortured by evil wizards. It's a thing. His passive perception is a 22. Passive investigation is a 15. Passive insight is a 22. No immunities or resistances. He's a spellcasting bonus reaction. Charisma. Spells. 5. Magic caster level. 16. Spell save. DC is 18. Very nice. Acrobatics. 8. Animal handling. The other great thing about bards, you get skills. You get all the skills. 5. 2. 7. 5. Insight, you get a plus 12. Intimidation is 7. 5. 4. 5. 12. I'm going to have to find... I know the face claim for him and his wife. Which I guess we should make his wife too, because she'll be very interesting as a character. Right? You have to stop and think that she's a half-elf, and she is the first, and Voral is the first orc to marry outside of his race. Well, first orc leader, I should say, because we're probably assuming that there's some level of marriage among those who are not leaders of the orc population. Among the orcs, for various reasons. That's why they're half-orcs, both human and elven, because they are similar species and therefore they can crossbreed, but not with dwarves or elves, or dwarves or halflings, because I believe one of the biggest problems that D&D has is the perpetuation of the term race instead when they mean species. Because I'm sorry, a minotaur cannot crossbreed with a turtle. They're different species. Calling them the same race is not helpful. Watsy. Total. Cool. Cool. Now, actions. Attacks. We're going to start with the dancing rapier. Cool. It dances around you. You can use a bonus action to toss it into the magic sword into the air and speak the command word. When you do so, the sword begins to hover, flies up to 30 feet, and attacks one creature of your choice within 5 feet of it. The sword uses your attack roll and ability score modifier to the damage rolls. While the sword hovers, you can use a bonus action to cause it to fly 30 feet to another spot within 30 feet of you. As part of the same bonus action, you can use the sword to attack a creature in 5 feet, so you can move it for an attack. After the hovering sword attacks for the 4th time, it flies up to 30 feet and tries to return to your hand. If you have no hand free, it falls to the ground at your feet. If the sword has no unobstructed path to you, it moves close to you as it can and then falls to the ground. It ceases to hover if you grasp it or move more than 30 feet away from it. Okay, well, fair. Hide. It is melee. I mean, it's not really ranged. It technically has a range. It doesn't really have a range, though. To hit is a +8. Why is the... Oh, because, Dex versus Charisma. That makes so much more sense. Hello, Ice Bunny. And can you be charged with murder if you do not hold the sword? I mean, it's intent. Intent is a big thing. How you doing, Ice Bunny? How's life going for you? 3 piercing. Alright. Got that. Spiritual focus bonus dice. Spiritual focus bonus die. Oh, you're melting again, but fine, because it was at home all day. I mean, that's fair. It's hot here, too. It's current temperature is 90 degrees, but it feels like 104. And it even rained earlier today, and it's... Ooh, that's nice. When you cast a bard spell that deals damage or restores hit points through the spiritual focus, roll a d6 and you gain a bonus to 1 damage or healing roll of the spell equal to the number rolled. That'd be very useful. Counter charm. Counter charm, like a dancing weapon makes counter charm useful for a bard. Because counter charm is an action to do, and I think because if you've got a dancing weapon, then you can still make attacks while counter charming because it requires you to spend your full turn. And the important thing is it's going to give you advantage against fear and charm effects. Tales from Beyond. You can use an action to target one creature within 30 feet of you that you can see. Once you do so, you can't bestow the Tales effect on... Oh, there's a whole table. Oh, well, that's gonna be complicated. The tale of the clever animal. For the next 10 minutes, whenever the target makes an intelligence, wisdom, or charisma check, the target can roll an extra die immediately after rolling the d20 and add the extra die's number. But what size, what is the extra die value? Oh, yeah, it doesn't tell you what the extra die value is. The DC is equal to your spell save DC. Okay, so I'm just going to put this in here and then a note to check. Oh, your Bardic Inspiration die. Well, it should... Oh, there it is. I can't read. Thanks, Pope, for helping me out and pointing things out. Check table on D&D Beyond for this, because that's... That's useful. It's a use of your Bardic Inspiration, but it's... a lot. Alright, so bonus action. Adrenaline rush, because you're a orc viral. Boom. He also gets Bardic Inspiration. Which at this level is a D12. Ice May says, my brain, I just thought it could be fun to have an NPC sue the adventurers for the damage they caused. I mean, I've done that, but not in this game. I've done that in a Cyberpunk game. Okay, so this is where you roll. The bonus action is the rolling. The action is the use of the... Okay. That almost makes sense. Reactions. Hi. Or your reactions. Didn't I put in that it has reactions? I thought I put in... Yes, have reactions. Roll 20. Warcaster! Hey, guess what? You wanna know what's really great? If you have Warcaster and you're a bard, and you cast... So what you do is, you cast Dissonant Whispers. Or Vicious Dissonant Whispers. They fail their saving throw. They are forced to make a... They're forced to use their reaction to make an immediate... spend all of their movement to get away from you. This counts as... This counts for an attack of opportunity. You now have Warcaster, so you can immediately go around and use your reaction to cast another spell on them. Bye-bye. This is why you don't get in my face if I'm a bard. Have I thought these things through a few times? Yep. I've thought about this. Thought about you. Oh, what's the song? Oh, what's the lyric? I think about you. What is the rest of the lyric? I think about you. The paper comes. No. My morning paper. I think about you. Yeah, losing my mind. Thank you. Good. Pope. Yes, it's Company. I was like, it's sitting in my head. What show is this? I know this show. Thank you, Pope, for helping me. Which, by the way, you know. Yeah. Losing my mind. Company. Yes. The sun comes up, I think about you. The coffee cup, I think about you. I love you so, it's like I'm losing my mind. Thank you, Stephen Sondheim. Rip. One of the best wordsmiths, I think, ever. Um, Spirit session conduct ritual. Yep. Yep. Cool. Cool. Okay. I put Bardic Inspiration in? I did put Bardic Inspiration in. Inventory. Ring of Spell Turning. I'm gonna tweak this, for any spell that targets you, and if it happens to be that a certain person perhaps chooses you as the that targets you, not merely in the area of effect, you need to be the target. So even if it is an area of effect spell, if you are the target of the area of effect spell, then you can use your Ring of Spell Turning. In addition, if you roll a 20 on the save, so advantages. I'm just gonna no, I like the idea. Target the ring. Yeah, no, I'm just gonna give it all because it's not. Otherwise, it's really not that powerful. It just gives you advantage on saving throws. Oh yes, and the spell ability of the caster. Yes. Now I have company stuck in my head, but that's not a bad thing. I actually like that. I like that show. And as much as, you know, I think that would be a great show to see. Particularly the current revival with Patti LuPone as, and with Patti LuPone, and they made Bobby Jack of all trades. I don't need to really. Oh, Song of Rest. That's technically an action. Gonzo says, would it be wrong to have my Netrunner's affluent entire family just pass away in an orbital craft accident? No secret plots or evil plans, just an accident? I mean, you're playing Cyberpunk Red, and they're in an orbital craft. I would just like to say that, did they have the right proper clearance, so that they didn't get shot down by the High Rollers? Because, like, the High Rollers like their space, and they don't like anybody else coming up and bothering them in their space. And I could totally see, you know, somebody just used the wrong access code. Nothing really, just didn't use the right code. No clearance. Sorry, we'll shoot you down. Honestly, the High Rollers are some of my favorite, or one of my favorite, creations in the Cyberpunk universe. I love the fact that it's basically the entire continent of Africa is like, fuck no, keep your shit off of space and go away. We don't care. I do vaguely recall that. Time. There are things that perhaps might happen. Alright. Cool. So we now have Voral the Protector. Specifically... Orc... Bard... College of Spirits... Cool. Cool. Let's try this Dancing Rapier. Make sure that works. 25... 11 piercing is max damage, but that's okay. There are other ways they can do damage. And you're a spellcaster. Cool. So now we've got Voral. We should probably do Voral's wife as well. I think we should do her today. Because I'm liking the way this is building. And I guess the question is, we should throw out a question. We've been here for 2 hours. Does anyone have any questions about the world as we're building it? You know, the way I run D&D, about D&D in general, or anything else you have questions, comments, queries, thoughts, concerns, quandaries, fears, and or inquiries about? Just throwing that out there. So we are doing, where are we? Oh, we're doing Amar Pajor, the half-elven woman who is the wife of Voral the Protector. Amar Pajor. Pajor. Okay. So, what do we know about her? We know that she's half-elven. We know that she's married to a very high-level bard who won control of the tribe by rate of swords. What's further left off the map? Ah. Here be dragons. If you go out here to the west off the map, technically Octan is a little bit more over here. There's a bunch of unknown territory. Nobody has really gone that far out. There is a couple large swamps and some geographic reasons why there's the border there. But no one has been able to really chart that area, mostly because they haven't really had any dedicated time to, right? It takes a lot to rebuild to create a new civilization outside of you know, after you've had a cataclysmic apocalyptic level event. And so there's a lot of things, you know, the old line is, there be dragons. We're going off the map. Pope asks, aside from Yoraba and Varum, where are the other great repositories of arcane lore? Well, if you're looking for bardic lore, that would be Durakan or Tenerique City. Well, Laba and... That's about it. Yeah. Yoraba and Varum. Yoraba and the Elves have, Elves, Orcs, half-Orcs, and half-Elves, and humans can all cast they all can be wizards. Any species can be sorcerer, because that would just be something coming up from beyond, And then any bards can be from any species as well. Warlocks, same. But wizards, there's a genetic tie between humans, orcs, elves, that requires them, or it requires the links to certain arcane casting from a learned system of magic. From wizards, has to have some tie to this connection. There's a lot of theory behind this that the elven wizards in Yoruba consider and discuss, but you get a lot of interesting. There hasn't been a collated firm idea yet. You get some, but the major bastions of arcane lore are going to be Yoruba and the Academy of Magic in Vasava, which is the capital of Vurum. There is some arcane lore in Navaloth, which is the home of, which is the dwarven city that is not part of the Empire. It is a city-state bordered between, you know, kind of in this triangle border between Walaba, Cortel, and Tenerique. Nominally within the borders of Tenerique, but Tenerique doesn't really consider it part of the government. They kind of consider it a very, very close ally and trading partner. But so we have a half-elven. I need to get rid of this. We need to do this and then go to a half-elf. Half-elf. Oh, you were asking about the size question for the territories, PB? I made the map, and I gave the map a scale. So each square is 300 miles. So from, say, one end of Durakan to the other, roughly 1,300 square miles. The distance between, well, Yoruba to Tenerique City is 2743. Tenerique City to Vasava is 3,000. So that's why when we say there is a vast section that's unexplored, there's a lot that hasn't been explored. This whole area here, you know, that's 800 miles, you know, 2,300 miles. It's 300 miles, or give or take, depending on where you sail. Yeah, teleport would be useful. Gotta make sure you don't go too far. And currently, the only teleportation circles that exist are within the Empire, between the cities of the Empire and the two dwarven cities. So, Slagava, Balava, Visava, Staldava, Darasov, Posilov. There used to be a teleportation circle in Oferentur. There is not anymore. But yeah. It's why, you know, crossing the desert from Cochasuche and Saling to Tenerique City is 1,200 miles. It's about 2 weeks travel with a horse across a desert. It also is why exploration of the what remains of the archipelago, you know, that's 3,000, 2,500 square miles, 3,000 square miles, depending on where you're sailing to or for. It's a big map. Just make sure to go souvenir shopping every 6 months. I mean, it'd be important to do. Alright, so. What? I guess the thing is, we should consider what kind of class she is. I'm not going to make her a bard because her husband's a bard, right? And I think 2 bards married to each other can just become a lot. It could become a lot. We haven't done a sorcerer recently. We did one of the elves who leads Sekele on the the board, you know, the council of houses of halflings on Sekele is made up of the heads of houses, and there are 18 of them, and so they're balanced between Arcane Caster, Divine Caster, and a Martial class. PB says, do you think they have Souvenir Magnus and Cortel, or would Magnusson be too much for them? I mean, you have to remember, they're okay with divine magic. They have an entire order of paladins, which is considered one of the greatest order of paladins in the world, with the Zandari that are in Cortel. So they don't have a problem with science, and really their problems with wizard magic. Are you sure, Lynn? Are you sure you're never going near Cortel? But our dear friend Amar. Yes. As Pope says, Cortel is stern but fair. I mean, they are really good at, you know, they are the largest they are the most professional standing army on the continent. They do a lot of fighting of bad things. They just don't like arcane magic. Not good for anybody there. So Amar, I don't think, definitely not a bard. We could go sorcerer. I like sorcerer. Why don't we go sorcerer? We'll go sorcerer. Cool. Let's go with charisma gets 2 already, so let's go with dex and intelligence, I think. Languages, common, elvish. Well, she's definitely gonna get orc because she's living among the orcs. We'll give her weapon training. That wasn't the button I wanted to hit. I wanted to hit this button. Actually, no. What I want to hit is go over here and roll some stats for her. Because I'm going to roll some stats. That's what we're going to do. Do you not like Cortel, Lynn? I wonder why that could be. Lynn, why would you be concerned about going to Cortel? I'm sure that they would just love you there. so much. I'll take your silence for agreement. Um, 13 and 11. Okay. 2 15s, 2 12s, a 13 and an 11. 2 15. Okay, so 15. 15. 13. 2 12s and an 11. 12. 12. 11. All right, so what does that give us? That gives us 11, 14, 12, 16, 12, 17. Okay, that's not a bad split run. That's not a bad run. All right, so 17. All right, we're going to make her a level 16 sorcerer. We're gonna give her, but we should go back to the background first, right? She's not an entertainer. Ooh, we should make her something fun. What about a courtier? What about... I like the idea of making her a courtier. That Viral met in... Yeah. Yeah, I like courtier. Dwarvish. Halfling. Because, you know, now she speaks all of the major languages of the continent. Yes, she is a power... They are a power couple. Oh, I need to change... Pope, I'm gonna change a thing because I think I have a better idea. I'm gonna do a thing. So... Gonna give her Arcana and Deception. I'm gonna do a thing. Yeah. So, I'm changing out one of the face claims for a thing from yesterday. Because I think the power couple works better. No. No. I'm going to leave that because I have a better one. I'm going to leave them alone. I will leave them alone. I have a better one for Viral and Amar. I had a thought and then I'm like, no, wait, I have a better thought. Sorcerer's Origin. I'm going to go... Ooh, do we go Draconic Bloodline? Which would make a lot of interesting things. I think we go either Draconic Bloodline... I don't know about Shadow. I think either Draconic Bloodline or Divine Soul. But I think Draconic Bloodline is where we're going. We're going to go Draconic Bloodline. And we go... Yes, very artful ones. Ooh, alright. I need to get some more water. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a brief break up, but we're going to do a poll, and we're going to, I'm going to put a poll up for the type of dragon, and what type of dragon soul is Amar. And we are going, I'm going to put 3 options up, my top 3 options. We're gonna put, well, everybody likes a red, so we're gonna put a red dragon. So red is an option. Then I'm going to also say perhaps, something really interesting to do would be black and silver. Red, black, and silver are our options. And I will put this poll up. It will run while we are, while I'm on break. And then when I come back from break, we will see who exactly, what kind of dragon sorcerer bloodline Amar has. And we will be all in a good place. I think that's how that's going to work. So, see you in about 8 minutes, everybody. Bye. Hello, welcome back. Hope you're refreshed, stretched. Sorry the poll took a little while to figure out. I don't know what was going on. The bot seemed to keep reverting to an earlier poll instead of the one I created. You know, like they do. Hey Faye, welcome in. So we've completed the poll, and silver. So Amar is going to be. Hello, AP. Welcome in. So Amar Perjor, wife of Viral the Protector of the Durakan Orcs, is a silver dragon soul. Art wearing armor, your AC equals 13 plus your dex modifier. Watch out for the mushrooms, chat. What mushrooms? There are no mushroom. I'm sure. Fine. Alright, meta magic. We're gonna go with quicken spell, twin spell, and then I think seeking spell or Timo. Yeah. Subtle spell. There you go. Quickened, twinned, and subtle spell are her meta magic. Elemental affinity. And dragon wings. She can fly, yo. We roll. Time! Thank you for those gift subs, Time of Gifts. You are a wonderful, wonderful person, and I appreciate you each and every time you do that. Thank you, Time, for those wonderful gift subs. Coldrake, PB, Crit, Faye, Lynn. Enjoy your wonderful, wonderful emotes, which I have to get new ones, add more. But thank you, Time, for that those gift subs. Really appreciated. Any more? Oh, there we go. Last alert. Thank you, Time. I appreciated it. I appreciate those gift subs. Okay, so where are we at? We have 17 charisma. Okay, so the first run we're gonna do charisma and strength. And that gives us, well, we have to have player characters worthy of these NPCs you're designing. Well, thank you. I can tell you, spoiler alert Time, because I've been messaging and talking and lots of talking behind the scenes with my players, even before we get to session 0, which is Saturday in 2 days, that there is a lot of interesting things happening in the background. It's gonna be great. It's just gonna be so great. So, alright, so charisma is an 18, intelligence 16, strength 12, dex 14, con 12, wisdom 12. Okay, so that first run did that. Let's do our... What if we do 60? Gives us 92, 70, gives us 102, 80, 112, so we'll do 83 to get 115. Alright, 115 is not a bad number of hit points for a sorcerer at level 16. So we got 3 more ability scores, so we're gonna take 1 more ability score boost for charisma, just straight charisma. And then that gives us 20, 12, 12, 14, 12, 16, 12, 20. I think that's a pretty good spread. I'll take that spread. And then we get 2, I'm gonna give her 2 feats. So what feat do we give her for sorcerer? Gift of the Metallic Dragon? Because they can't go over 20, so that's not going to help. We could go intelligence or wisdom. What does that do? You've manifested some of the power of metallic dragons, granting you the following benefits. Draconic healing, you learn cure wounds spell, you have protective wings. Yeah, it doesn't boost. That's right. But here's the thing, she already has dragon wings. It just uses a specific stat. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. She already has dragon wings, so I'm not gonna go with draconic benefit, because that isn't needed. Oh, these are protective, not fly? Shield you and others when you 5 feet of your attack roll. You can use a reaction to manifest spectral wings from your back for a moment. You grant a bonus to the target's AC equal to your proficiency bonus against the attack roll, potentially causing it to miss. You can use a reaction a number of times equal to your proficiency. I mean, that's not bad. Cure wounds without a spell slot. So if we use charisma, that would be pretty good. It becomes a spell that's known as well. I mean, okay. Alright, so now we have flying protective wings. Okay. I see this. I see this coming out. I see this. I see Amara now. I see her. I see how you're rolling. And then for this other feat... Ooh, do we give her mobile? Or... alert? I don't know if I don't think she's a fighter, so I don't think alert is where we're gonna go with her. I think instead... we go... I like the idea of mobile. What's Prodigy? Prodigy would give you additional skills. I like mobile, I think. Increased speed, dash action doesn't cost extra movement. Difficult terrain doesn't cost extra movement. Melee attack against a creature, you don't provide attack opportunity attacks when you leave them. So I think we'll go mobile. Because I like the image. There really does need to be a delete all button for your equipment so that you can then put new equipment in when you're doing a character like this. I'm just saying, D&D Beyond. Alright, simple weapon, dagger. She's got multiple on her at times. An arcane focus. It's It's a crystal, and she wears it in a necklace around her neck. So we're not going to go armor, because she's already armored, and she has a pretty decent dex, so... I'm gonna skip the armor, and instead go with a wand or a staff first. Let's go with a wand. I think we just, yeah, Wand of the War Mage, or Wand of Paralysis. No, I like Wand of the War Mage. A +2 Wand of the War Mage. Oh, no, whoops, wrong item, but, you know, whatever. I'll delete that, so... Get rid of the polymorph. You don't get that one. Sorry, Amar. No polymorph. Not today. And then... I think something interesting, right? We need something interesting. I think we give her something interesting. Do. Oh yeah, she has a luck stone. She gets a luck stone, and... yeah, not gonna worry about the badge of the watch. She has a luck stone and a... yeah, she doesn't need that. Oh, the dog. A wondrous figurine of the Onyx dog. I mean, I don't dislike that. I was thinking the dog. I was thinking the Onyx dog or the golden lions. These gold statuettes of lions are always created in pairs. You use one figurine or both simultaneously. Each can become a lion for up to an hour. Once a lion has been used, it cannot be used again for 7 days. I mean, I like the fact that the dog is, you know, Yeah, I like the dog. We're gonna give her a companion in an Onyx dog. I'm sure that's great. That's not a problem anywhere. Um, yes. So Onyx dog. Inventory. Boom, 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 boom. Yep. Yep. I like this. Relatively good build. Lots of abilities. Lots of things that can happen. So we're going to start putting her in. Yay! All the good things. I'm sure that nothing bad will come from, you know, her whatsoever. It will be wonderful and fabulous. And she and her husband are legit power couple. They are bringing so much change to Durakan. So that's a thing. That's a thing that's happening. Amar. Come here, Amar. Cool. Stats. Let me put your stats in. And while I put all of this stats and take all of this stuff from D&D Beyond into Roll20, oh yeah, she also has a 40-foot move speed. Do we have any other questions? Things we're concerned about, things we want to know about. So we have a 40-foot speed, and then you also have a fly speed. So where is her fly speed? Features and traits. Yes, so you would have a fly speed of 40 feet. 40 feet. Okay. Because I know that sometimes rather not riveting watching me enter data as I talk to myself about it, but it's important for me to do so that I can do all the things. So, Pope, sorry about that. I had a vitally important message somebody was sending me. Important people I had to answer. Really, it was so important. So there's a question from Pope about Cortel's relationships with other nations. I mean, I need a little bit more. They have relationships with other nations that are, well, they have a pretty good relationship with the dwarves in Navaloth. Pretty decent relationship with the halflings on Sekele. I have to decide how I'm pronouncing that. It'll come to me eventually when I decide that. They have positive trade relationships with Tenerique, although they're not really cordial. They aren't Yeah, they are not 100% isolationist, but they have very limited contact, mostly with Tenerique, Walaba, and the Sekele halflings. Any hostile relationships? Yeah, they have some concerns about the Empire. They have some major concerns about the Empire. They have no trade relationships with the Empire as a whole. They're also not happy right now about, this whole area, which is the southern duchy of Varum, and when the last Duke of the South was executed for treason, and the Empire has not since installed a duke or raised anyone for that title, and it's been 90 years. So there's some lack of oversight in what was the former kingdom of Jardin and is now the southern duchy of Varum, and because of that, there's a rise in lawlessness, banditry, a lot of people taking advantage. Cortel's looking to the north and going, Varum, you should take care of your shit before it becomes a problem for us. If it starts to become a problem for us, we're gonna take care of it. They don't really have a relationship with everybody west of Walaba because it doesn't really necessary. And Cortel and Saling, Lord Iago does not like the Great Lady of Saling, for reasons. And if you become his friend, he might tell you those reasons. Some of them are even possibly right. But Lord Iago is an interesting character. We're just going to leave it at that. That is my answer, that Lord Iago is an interesting character. They don't have any formal relationships with Uraba, although they do have... there is an acknowledgement of Uraba and its benefits as a entity, and they also kind of respect Uraba, but as long as Uraba stays in Uraba, away from them. Uraba, as the last city-state of the Elves, definitely falls into sometimes being has certain magical traditions that Cortel doesn't really endorse, because they've seen what happens when things go wrong, but they also recognize that the current grand masters of the magical traditions that of the elves in Uraba are a lot better at control and magic and understanding of the ethics involved with wizardry than, say, Varum. So they don't become entirely antagonistic to Uraba, but a lot of people aren't really happy. Just, people aren't happy. Cortel is tense at the moment, perhaps, one might say, is the best way to phrase it. Yes, we'll go with that. Tense. There aren't any truly negative relationships. Oh, hello. I was doing math all wrong. Math's all wrong. I has to fix it. It's okay. It didn't take too long. I fix it. Cool. No immunities, no anything, no nothing. Cool. Charisma. Spells. What is your spell? Spellcasting level 16. Mod 18. Not 180. That would be a horrible spell save. Can you, like, imagine if I perhaps said that, no, the save that you need to beat is 180. It's like, that's not possible. That's not a thing you can do. Dark vision for 60 feet. They also have a passive perception for 12, not 20. Passive investigation for 14. Passive. I'd be like, okay, how many d20s can I roll, PB? I mean, that's fair. I mean, 1. Singular sensation, every step she takes. 1 thrilling combination, every move that she makes. 1 smile and nobody else will do. You know you're alone with you know who. Sorry. We are just in a, 60s, 70s Broadway mood tonight with company and chorus line. Common, draconic, dwarvish, elvish, halfling, and orc. Proficiency bonus is +5. Okay. Ooh, that does work. That's very impressive. I can do that. Haha. Very impressive. I'm glad that I can just roll it directly from the sheet. I didn't know that. I learned something today. As my players continue to mess around with their own characters, I'm supporting this. Alright, so actions. Well, we have sorcery points first. We'll put those in. Sorcery points. You have 16 sorcery points. That's not bad. That's not a bad number of sorcery points. You can convert sorcery points. Using sorcery points to gain an extra spell slot, or sacrifice a spell slot to gain sorcery points. You know, I've only ever played one sorcerer, and she is near and dear to my heart. I random rolled this character, like full random roll this character, and she tiefling. Infernal tiefling, so tail and wings. Dragon soul sorcerer, red dragon, tiefling. All the fire spells. I just went with the theme that she just did fire. Like, all the fire. Hellish Rebuke, Firebolt, Fireball, Blazing Hands, Scorching Ray. She lit an entire arena on fire and burned it, and probably burned the entire village to the ground. She was very much fun. But that was a one-shot character, and I've not had an opportunity to play again. Gifts the Metallic Dragon. protective wings. Cool. So I'm sure that all my players are going to be wonderfully happy with everything that happens in the near future. Okay, but wait, didn't we... Hold on. Features and traits. Silver Dragon. Cold damage. Okay, so that... is an important thing to remember, is that she is a elemental affinity for Silver Dragon. Cold damage. When you cast a spell that deals damage of the type associated with your draconic ancestry, you can add +5 to one damage roll of that spell. At the same time, you can spend 1 sorcery point to gain resistance to that type of damage for 1 hour. I mean, fair. We can do meta magic. Meta magic. Quickened spell. Oh, wait. You can spend 2 bonus. I love quickened spell. You can spend 2 sorcery points to take a casting time of 1 action to a bonus action. It's one of my favorite sorcery conversions. Right there with Twinned spell. You spend a number of... It's expensive, though, because you have to spend a number of sorcery points equal to the spell level. So, like, if you want to cast a 9th level spell with Twin spell, you have to spend 9 sorcery points to do it. Creature with target a second creature in range with the same spell as long as the spell at the level it's being cast is incapable of targeting more than 1 creature. Yeah, that's what it's useful for lower level or really high level single target spells. Subtle spell is even better because you can spend 1 sorcery point and you have no somatic or verbal components, and it's a lot harder to see. Wings, dark vision, proficiency with weapons. Oh yes, gift of the metallic dragon, draconic healing. There you go. I can heal. Twice. 2 level 2. Oh, and mobile. Mobile is also great. Increase the speed. You don't provoke opportunity attacks, and you can dash over difficult terrain. Always a good thing. So, do we have any questions at the moment? I guess is my next question. I know that there are lots out there that could be asked. I just want to know if, what you want to ask. Yes. Good luck stone. Good luck stone is a good thing to have. Who is this? Oh, this is a Mar. Oh, I should... Hold on, please. Let me just add this. +1 bonus to ability checks and saving throws. And you have, as a half-elf, advantage on saves against charm spells and magic sleep immune. There we go. All right. This is our friendly. Oh yes, and her figure of wondrous dog. Figurine of wondrous power. Onyx dog. She has a doggo that she can carry in her pocket, or then pull out, and it's an intelligent speaking animal that's a mastiff and can fuck people up. And can see invisible creatures and objects. Just saying. So I should take the time to go ahead and put them in the thing. So I need to open the Pinterest. Open Pinterest. Notable incidents involving magic that have happened in recent memory. How are we defining recent memory? Because, like, your character's recent memory or someone else's character's recent memory? Because your character has a very distant, you know, some people might have longer recent the last 10 years. 10 years is a very different time frame. There have been, perhaps one might say, ooh, I'll have to go through. Let's see. I'm going to pull this up. Sorry, I was trying to pull up my character doc, because I'm looking for the correct image for our Viral the Protector. And then, because remembering, of course, that, he is a Valor Bard. And I think I have it. By Jove, I have it. The last 10 years, let's see, major events involving magic that happened in recent memory. 10 years. There was a small, and by small I mean relatively small, explosion of magic in northern Novigrr destroyed about 5 acres of land, and nobody knows why. They know magic was cast there. They know that nothing will grow there anymore, and they know that it did a shit ton of damage. But nobody... there was anyone alive. They don't know... you know, they don't know if anyone was alive or dead. They can't find anything out about that. So it's a giant explosion of magic that just, you know, happened. Just happened. Oh no, he's a spirit bard. Bard. Yeah, so that happened. Yeah, it's a significant problem. Pope, you would agree. I would agree. It is a significant problem. There have been some new advancements in enchantment that have come out of Posolav. And there was a couple other instances of magical effects being seen. The Sikelia halflings swear that around this inlet here, which is between Yaraba and, you know, Zujaj, that the well, the water turned green, and not green as in normal watercolor, but the color of acid, and things started to monsters started to appear, but that left behind in the last, you know, no one else has seen it. A couple people claim it's just drunken pirates, because halfling pirates, you know. It is mildly concerning, but no one's ever seen it, so it's not like they have a problem, because they don't know that, you know, they're like, you know, it's not a problem. There are many issues were unforeseen before it becomes too late. This is true, and this is why the Elves of Araba are a little more proactive. They're kind of feeling... a few of the elves, a number of them, mostly the Grandmasters, recall, and the head archivist, were alive during the Old Empire and remember, like, not just within living memory, they remember the Sundering and the events that occurred there. And they are very much on the, we're not going to ignore bad things of magic or signs or, you know, people doing out of control things with magic. All right, so I need to take, yep. And I need to add, so I've added Viral, and now I'm adding Amar to the doc. If you haven't checked it out, you can check out the NPC doc for this game in the link in chat. Sorry if you're watching on YouTube. I don't post those on YouTube. Need to add, wait, is there anyone else we need to add? People today, didn't we? Cool. So that's who everybody. Build anyone else at the moment? I think we're done building NPC controls for the political figures in Endios at the start of the game. Octan is nominally a little further west than it is on the map and isn't as actually on the border with Walaba. And because of that, it is the least known of the areas, and the current ruler, head of the Octan orcs is not known outside of Orc lands. Yeah. So, I feel like we're accomplished. I feel like we did a lot of really good things. Do we have any other questions that I can answer before we just, end for the day? Oh, yes, I can move them around. There. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R. Yeah. Q, R, S, T, U, V. Okay. I'm, can't remember alphabet unless I say it. Pope is... Thank you for a wonderful afternoon. Thank you for being here, Pope. PB, I'm glad you're excited. I think it will be a very interesting game. I can't wait. I can't wait till Saturday to talk to all of you so we can have this moment of bonding and we can figure out who all is gonna be doing what, and I'm looking forward to that. That will be a lot of fun. But I think we should send a raid out because we can. But before I do that, I should do the ending spiel, right? I should do that. That's the thing I should do. Hey all, thank you for hanging out with me tonight. I am been your friendly neighborhood Prax. Welcome to the thank you for joining me. Thank you for helping with all of this. Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern, here on the channel, we will have the finale for the Corporate Raiders Mechton. I am excited. It will be great. It will be a lot of fun. I'm just going to tell you right now that choices that were made by the Starblade crew will definitely have an effect on the Corporate Raiders crew. Just saying. Just saying. And then on Saturday, July 30th, a week and 2 days from today, we will have the premiere character introductions. We'll do 2 character introductions for 3 weeks for a Song of Agapia's Fortune, which is this D&D campaign that we've been working on building. I thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you for all of your questions. I'm glad we could do this. I like talking about D&D, and I like talking as we build things. But other than that, and then Wednesday, we'll be back on Wednesday next week for the next episode of The Long Retreat, our Zweihander campaign. There are some interesting things going on there. And we'll see what happens next. But other than that, check my Twitter because I post where I'm going to be and all the fun, wonderful folks I hang out with. And if you're watching on YouTube, like, share, subscribe, do all of that stuff. But until next time, we should send some love out into the universe. And I know who we're going to raid because I just know that this is a thing. We're going to go raid Trooper. Because Trooper and Lindy are doing a vampire visual novel, so that's what we're gonna go do. Because, we're gonna go raid my friends. And until next time, everybody, bye-bye.